What's up, everybody? We got the crew here. I ain't got no notification. You ain't got a notification yet?
Is it on public? You got the thing on public?
It's on public.
I got notified.
You did?
Yeah.
My prepaid thing ain't doing right.
So
I got it.
we are live here in Atlanta.
Let's see if we can hear each other.
It's a 5-minute commercial.
Yes, it's okay. So we're getting ready to do our live here.
Chew it.
So we got a lot going on. Okay, somebody got to turn this stuff down.
I was trying to turn it down.
So I think we're good.
Chew it
We're good.
down.
Okay. Cool.
Hey, Ashley. I'll say Ashley said hey.
Hey.
Hey, motivator.
You know, we did all that and we didn't decide what we were going to talk about.
It's all right.
We got the time some more to get
Girl, I'm going to get you out of here.
in 20 minutes.
30. Love from Jamaica. What's up?
Hey.
From Jamaica.
All right, so first let's introduce everybody because everybody may not know, and I want to make sure you guys can follow all of these lovely ladies wherever they are located at because they all have something awesome to offer. So we'll start over here with Tamara.
Tamar, the paper and pen girl. I'm Shakisha, her lovely plan. Also, the Martha of Barry and Martha Plans.
I'm Lisa Mack, planning and praying on YouTube, and I am the Mary of Mary and Martha.
I am so sultry on everything.
And I'm Shay Budget. And I'm Elaine Michelle. And so you guys saw the title of the thing. I have rebranded, I guess you could say. And my podcast is changing to I'm Here For It. And so that's how we're going to kind of do this. So I kind of structured my podcast in a new way. So we're going to go with that and then we'll get into talking about it. We got about 30 minutes before we have to get Lisa on out of here. So
I'm not ready to leave.
I gave you guys our introduction and who we are and what we're doing. So we'll talk about something that's going on in the world today.
Do a hearing check.
Can you guys hear?
Can you guys hear us if we talk like this?
Is it
At this
good?
volume.
Put a thumbs up or a heart if you guys are good with the hearing.
And if we need to talk louder,
Or if we need to talk louder because we've got traffic.
So let us know.
They can hear.
They can hear. All right.
Got a thumbs up.
All right. So
That's the iPhone 11.
here we go.
iPhone 13.
Here we go. All right. So Tamar Braxton. You guys familiar with Tamar Braxton?
Yeah.
Okay. So she's one for the team. Okay. She's a mess. So they say. Okay. She's a baby girl. She's spoiled. You know, all that stuff. Tamar recently came out and did an apology, a public apology to the real, her family, and everyone else.
Okay.
Yeah. So people are up in arms about whether or not she should have given them an apology on the public platform. How do you guys feel about that?
I think she should have.
Why?
Only because it was a public, it was put out there publicly. And I say that to say it's like, when you're in your town and they put news out saying that something happened to a kid, you get invested and you want to know the outcome.
Yeah.
Because you worry, you get concerned, you pray, and you're like, Lord, or whatever you believe, you want to make sure that the outcome is positive.
Yeah.
And when you don't hear anything else, you kind of feel like, well, dang, y'all put me in this and I'm invested.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think it's good because one, like I said, because we were all involved, but it shows her growth and her maturity.
Right.
Because we use people in the media and in reality kind of as a role model.
Mm-hmm.
So when somebody like her that's very outspoken and that has been disrespectful can humble herself and apologize, that's encouraging to other people that see.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true. I get that. But in some ways, I feel like, okay, so she came on a public platform to apologize. Like, what is my question is, like, why does she feel like she owed them a public apology? Like, what made her feel like she owed them that?
So from on the show, basically, she's been a brat.
Okay.
Anything that comes up, she's really vocal about it, and she doesn't back where.
So did she own that? In that apology,
in the
did
apology,
she own that?
I didn't see where she owned her individual
So what was the
issues. She owned her individual issues. She just owned up to the fact that if she had wronged anyone, in particular the real, because that was her job that she lost, okay, and then she was really bitter about it later. She's wronged her family on a public platform on the reality TV show, which is kind of funny though, and I bring this up because they actually produced the show, right? She's one of the producers, so you let them see what you want them to see.
Exactly.
Right?
You have control.
So I'm good with the apology.
Yeah.
But is it a sincere thing, or is it because you're getting so much backlash from these shows because they just ended the show and it was like a really big blow up between Tamar and her sister. But I ask that because a lot of times we are in stuff and we're doing it publicly, but then we privately apologize to people, and like you said, no one's invested, like everyone's been invested in it.
That's true.
And then you don't know what happened, what the outcome was. And I feel like it takes a person to really grow to actually be able to say that. I mean, even if it was for show, I mean, I don't see nobody just out here apologizing just because I mean, you got to keep up.
Yeah.
You got to live with it.
That's true.
Because the first thing somebody gonna say is, oh, but you ain't really doing what you said you was gonna do.
Right.
Okay. Shay, you ain't got no thoughts? Chill here.
No, because I don't really know what you said. Should Tamar have apologized to her family publicly for being a brat?
Was it the family or was
She
it?
apologized to everyone that she wronged, but she specifically named out the real and her family in her apology.
She was real general about it.
Yeah, it was a generalized apologization.
Apology.
Yeah, apology. Girl, you trying to add extra stuff on there.
I make a whole nother word. She made up a general apologization.
Good morning, Miranda. Okay. And I'm here for that
and
word.
In that general apologization, it was basically like overall she was just telling people, hurt people.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so she did it to say it was all about her finding new love. She didn't realize that she was hurting people because she didn't know love before she's with a new guy named David. And so now that she's found love, she knows how to love. Now she sees the error in her ways.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of where the apology came from.
So, are you asking my overall thoughts, or do I think she should have been obligated to do it?
Just what do you feel?
But I don't think she was obligated to do it. As far as someone else making her, right? Do it to say, okay, we are contractual, right?
Yeah.
And so because of that, you're representing us, and so you have to be a particular way.
Yeah.
You have to make sure that you're, you do what's right. I don't think that was the case. The case is, like you guys are saying, is I think she's growing up.
Yeah.
I think she's growing up, and that's a part of growing up. Understanding that when you make mistakes that can destroy people, because the words that you say and your attitude that you say it with compounds what you say. And so when you say those things, you put it out there in the atmosphere. And being a person of influence, when you put it out there, you're influencing other people's opinion.
That's true.
Whether it is the company, a station, your co-worker, your family, you're influencing people's idea and their perception of them. So it has to be on a public platform that she addresses that, because otherwise the people that she influenced to have other perceptions are still going to have that perception. It's not going to be changed. It's not going to change, even though she may have thoughts and her opinions of it. It's still not going to change. So she, being a celebrity person, needed to do that.
I feel that. I feel like because there's a responsibility that we all have, that if we're going to be in front of people and, like you said, influencing people, I think that's the biggest thing, is the influence that we have on others that sometimes we don't think about. And I know that's for me because I'm a quick shooter. Like, I'd be like, I'm going to do this. And I'm going to just make it happen. And by doing that, I sometimes don't think about how my reaction can affect everyone else that's watching me or how I feel. And I think that's like one of the biggest life lessons that I had to learn this year, is like to be quiet. Just to be quiet and wait for when the apology is supposed to be said, and to know it's okay to say it.
I agree with Pine Agenda. She said she publicly embarrassed them and herself, so she should publicly apologize. So should that be the case because of her platform? or is this a across the board situation?
I feel like it's across the
So,
board.
so
That's what I
the
was
way
getting
you
at.
expose is the way you need to apologize.
Yeah.
That's what I was getting
Yeah,
at.
yeah.
Exactly.
I believe that wholeheartedly. Like, if your cousin is on Facebook and they trash you on Facebook, you need to go back on Facebook and you need to apologize to me in that same status.
And that same-
Make a
that
new
same
one.
energy.
Make them keep that same energy.
Keep that
the
same energy.
that
Because
you
what
had
happens
before.
is you make this public, declaration,
Right.
and then everybody either takes sides or don't, and then all of a sudden they see y'all posted up like, hey,
Yeah,
but wait a minute, I thought it was
I'm
beefing.
still mad at you.
Right.
Did you just do that for the
Right.
fans? Did you just do that for subscribers?
Yes.
That's why you have to be direct.
Yeah.
So if you're gonna give a public apology, if you're gonna be in some public mess,
Okay.
and then you're gonna give a public apology, you need to be direct.
Okay.
Don't come generally. You know what I'm saying? You
If
need
there's
to be direct.
anybody on your bended, no.
Right.
Yeah, no,
Right.
And
Right.
When I
I'm
say
sorry.
X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
then I'm sorry.
Yeah.
for that.
That's
Make
like-
it plain.
That's
it
like
plain.
when we sin, we be like, Lord, forgive me for all of my sins.
Lord, forgive me for saying
The Lord
she's
is
live
like-
again.
Yeah.
It was some of them I don't remember.
Yeah.
The Lord is
Yeah.
like, I need you to be specific.
Yeah.
I need
Say,
you to
I'm
look
sorry I
at
didn't watch it
it.
because you ain't had no fingernails. Be woman enough. If you're woman enough to trash somebody,
Right.
be woman enough to
Yeah.
humble
Yeah.
yourself.
Humble
Right.
yourself.
You know what?
Go to that
That-
person.
that is
Regardless
the
of what
key.
happened, even if you don't want to apologize to that person, at least apologize to the people that followed. Be like, you know what? The way I handled this was wrong. Me and this person or this group, we're dealing with what we're going through.
Yeah.
But I want to apologize for how I acted because y'all perceive me to be a certain way.
Yeah.
And that here I come being contradicted.
Right.
Yeah.
Or even validating what that
Yeah.
person's saying.
So
by
now
my
they're like,
action.
oh,
Right.
she said that she was a supporter of women, but now she bashing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
ew, which one is it? Which
Yeah,
one
right.
is it?
Who are you?
Because again, I've been saying this all week, and God does not honor uneven scales.
Yep.
It's got to be balanced.
Right.
If you go put one thing out in the atmosphere, you got to balance it out.
Mm-hmm.
Just like it's got to be light. It can't just be dark.
Yep.
Balance.
Right.
Balance.
Got to be some balance in there. So that's I think that's important of knowing that you have to humble yourself.
Yeah.
Humbling yourself is probably one of the hardest things to do. Is to say, you know what, I messed up. Like, yo, like this was on me. Take a self-reflection. I did. It wasn't just one person. And sometimes people do stuff to you for no reason. But most reactions come from an action. Now, whether or not you agree with what you did, that person said you did, it's their feelings. And I think that's like important too, that we acknowledge other people's feelings, although we indirectly
Say it.
may have hurt them.
Say
It
it.
still hurt their feelings.
Right.
Say it.
Whether
You know.
intentional or unintentional,
Mhm.
the damage is done.
Yeah.
It's like if I go to my doctor and I say, Doctor, I have this pain in my leg. And the doctor may be looking like, I've done all the scans. I've done all the tests. I don't see anywhere where you should be having any pain.
Mm-hmm.
Does that negate the fact that I have this pain in my
It
leg?
does.
It
No.
doesn't.
It doesn't. I feel the pain in my leg. And so the same thing, whereas we cannot say, well, you should not feel that way, or I don't think that it's right that you feel that
Right.
way. My feelings are my
mine.
feelings.
They are
They're
my
valid.
feelings.
What you can do is show me some proof or share with me what your intention either was or how you meant something so that I can have an understanding
Yeah.
that my feelings are hurt, yes, but you did not mean to hurt my feelings.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
But you still, my feelings are still going to be
Yeah,
hurt.
they still,
We're
it's still my
human.
feelings.
Say that
And it's
she
gonna
put
take me
a
some
really
time to
good
get over
message.
it.
She said acknowledging the feelings, but the other person has to realize that the feelings are
not
not
the
facts.
facts. Go,
Come on.
Sadie.
I like
That's
that.
good.
That's good. Right? That's a word.
Come on with it.
I gotta write that down. We gotta write that one down.
We're gonna send you
I'm
an
gonna screenshot.
offer.
Okay.
We don't
Yeah, we need
screenshot
to write
it,
that
Sadie.
one
We
down.
don't-
That was
Yes.
good.
Sadie.
We acknowledge your feelings,
Say
but that doesn't mean your feelings are facts.
Don't you know
we don't own the rights to the song.
Right.
We had to sing.
Girl, we
That
here
was
for
good.
it.
Yes. So,
Yes.
are we here for Tamar's apology or not?
I'm here for it.
I'm
I'm
here
here
for
for
it.
it all day. Grown
I'm
woman,
here
that
for
it takes self-reflection and maturity.
Yep.
Absolutely.
It sure does. It sure does. All right, so we can go ahead. We're gonna let somebody pick the topic. We're gonna pick the topic. We got about 10 minutes.
We got about 10
We
minutes.
got 10 minutes to discuss.
Pick
Who
the
picking?
topic.
Who picking?
Oh, we got one
Oh,
on
we
here.
She was like, pick the topic.
kind of wanted to kind of stay in the same lane we were
Well, go ahead.
Okay, so, and this is across the board. What if someone, I'm going to say it because it's on my spirit. What if someone publicly does anything, whether it's to bash you or to praise you, but never come to you with it? Like, you know, sometimes people, oh yeah, that's my girl, we cool, but we never talk. Or like, you know what, she did this to me, that's jacked up, but you never talk to me about, you know what I'm saying? Like, some people will put stuff out there and never really bring it to who they
That's
really
because they lack communication skills. And when you're angered, we talked about this yesterday ad nauseum. When you're angered, I feel like people just jump and do whatever it is that they're feeling because they're angry.
Yeah.
Like there should never come a time where, like, let's say you do something I don't like, and instead of telling you, we talked about this. We literally talked about the same thing yesterday. Yeah. We can use this as an example. If she says something that offends me, it should always, or anything that was hurtful, it should always be on me if she unintentionally does it to say, or even if she intentionally does it and say, this is what you did X, Y, and Z. I don't really like being talked to like that.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to talk it out. And then that's always on, I feel like, the person who was offended or feeling some type of way. To bring, how is she ever going to know that she did something to me?
Yeah.
If she doesn't bring that to me.
Yeah.
So like you said, that's a lack of communication skills.
So there should never come a time I go blast her.
There shouldn't be. There shouldn't be. But we live in a world where everybody was not raised to communicate
effectively
in the right manner, right? So some people communicate through their anger, and that's the only way they know how to get it out. Not an excuse, but it's fact, right?
Yeah.
Some people, I'm a crier. I'm a cry. I'm angry. My tears start flowing, and I'm a cry. And I'll sit there in front of you and be looking like I'm finna whatever, and I'm crying. That's my way of communicating. And I may wait. I'm a waiter. So like I may be like, I'm really pissed off right now. I'm gonna develop my feelings inside. Now it's two things that happen. I'll get so mad and I'll snap at you over here, or I'll get in my feelings and then I calm down and then I go talk, or I'll talk to somebody else first to validate my feelings, or not validate my feelings, but to talk out my feelings before I talk to the other person.
Process the feeling.
Yeah.
I think with me, I mean, because I've always been non-confrontational anyway, but I'm at a point in my life where I don't need closure anymore. It is what it is. I believe in seasons, and I believe in, you know, if you did offend me, at the end of the day, you know what I'm saying? You offended me, you did me a favor. You showed me who you really are to me, and I just rather leave it like that.
Okay.
Because for me,
That's for weird.
sometimes, because feelings aren't facts. We can go back and forth about what you feel about me, and I'm like, but I didn't do this or whatever. But in their mind, they really believe that. So sometimes it's battles that you can't,
Fight.
you know, anything you can't squash.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But if, you know, the situation, whether it be a job that you walk away from, a friendship, a ministry, if it's, you know, if you feel like you need to at least say, look, I don't know what happened, but I still care about you, and just keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you have to do that, that's fine, but don't feel like you are obligated if somebody offends you, but it's based on where you are in your life.
Right.
I'm not that way. If somebody offended me, I shut down. I shut all the way down. And that's for two purposes. That's for you. And it's for me.
Yeah.
Because my mouth is real
So
quick.
you don't go to them.
I'm not, because I'm going to say this. More than likely, you know what you said to me was wrong. More than likely, not definitely.
9 times out of 10.
But 9 times out of 10, before you said something to me, you thought about it, unless you just regulars out here in these streets.
Yeah.
But you know what you said to me, and you saw my countenance after you said it to me. Because 9 times out of 10, you saw my countenance. So I kind of feel like, well, you know what I said, but then after a little while, because after I done shut down, I'm paying more attention to you, your reaction. So that allows me to gauge whether or not you really, really knew, or you didn't know. And after once I get calm, because I am the person that I don't have a regret after anything that I say. If I said it once, I can say it 5 more times, and I can say it with that same energy. I don't
Just be spitting out.
I can spit out, and I got that way after a relationship with this
She
guy.
offended me right now.
So speak up. I'm thinking I'm on the thing over here.
Let me get my Vaseline on YouTube.
But I kind of feel like, you know what you did. So, and then once I see that you really don't know, it depends on how I feel about the relationship if I'm going to say something to you. whether or not you feel. If I feel like I'm gonna need you, then I'll say, well, you know what? The other day when you said A, B, C, and D, that made me feel some kind of way. Well, what did I do? Because this is the self-reflection. What did I do to make you say that?
Yeah.
And this is how what you said made me feel. So let's have a conversation about that.
Yeah.
So I will shut all the way down. Like I'm very good with nonverbal, and I'm just as good with saying what it is. But it'll take me a minute because if you are that person that needs to immediately talk about it, ain't no telling what you're gonna get. You're not gonna get the calm, collected, but I'm gonna mean what I say when I say it in that moment, and I'm not gonna say something I'm gonna regret. I'm not the type of person that I will go for the jugular vein, but I'm going for the jugular vein with stuff that I know I don't have to retract. Like I'm not gonna go back and talk about the deep dark secrets that we done already talked about. But I'm gonna talk about your ugly this, your mama this, yo this, that. I'm coming for you. But in that same vein, I'm gonna still talk about your,
This is
I'm
all
not,
girl talk, general.
right.
We started off talking about Tamars for those that are just joining because I see
Oh,
people,
yeah.
because they a lot of times, and that's the thing that I want to say too.
Yeah.
Just because people get
people
on the
asking who they
platform
talking
does
about.
not mean that we're talking
about
from nobody.
Right.
Unfortunately, the world makes it think when a group of women get together, they're bashing.
Somebody.
We're doing this to empower
Right.
women because we are so.
We talked about this yesterday for
different.
6 hours.
Yeah,
Right.
we
And we
different.
never agreed. But we talked about something similar.
It's about
Right.
having an open conversation to, if we was talking about Tamar's public apology,
Right.
should she have publicly apologized? How do we feel about it to the real and to her family?
Right.
So this is what this is about. So whatever you want to take from this, please don't make it negative because we have enough of that in this community.
Right.
Everybody sitting at this table is about love.
Right.
It's about restoration,
Right.
about redemption, and it's about building a community
Right.
of women, whether you black, white, yellow, orange.
Right.
Tamar, what's your the little Tamar?
She's a Martian.
Tamar. Whatever you are,
Right.
it's about love because y'all already know me. I ain't been live in a long time, but I believe in love.
Right.
You love people as you love yourself.
Right.
So if you treat people nasty, that means you don't love yourself.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's real talk. And if you are
It is
a
about
follower of
holiness.
the word,
Yeah.
and if the word is in you, you know that it's faith, hope, and love. And the greatest is what,
Right.
ladies?
Love.
Exactly. And if you
Right.
don't show it, that's a reflection on you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the beauty of that is because I'm not that person like she is. It'll kind of just, we all can still have a functioning and a healthy relationship,
Yes.
even though we don't always agree on how we handle things.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But because now I know how she handles things,
I know.
Now you
my
know how to
approach
operate.
could be totally
how to
different.
handle it.
I know I can't necessarily shut down. That means so I'm coming out of my
Exactly,
comfort
right.
zone to communicate effectively with my friends.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think this is a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and that's how friendships
Right.
and even
You
relationships
learn about each other.
relationships
Period.
work. It's a give and a take.
Right.
And it's an understanding of that person and how they feel and how they operate. Because how can you work with somebody and only operate in the way you work and you want them to do everything you want them to
Right.
do? It's never going to work like that.
Yeah, and if you put it in hood words, it eliminates drama.
Yeah,
okay?
exactly.
Nobody
Yeah.
got time for the whole lot
Drama,
of drama.
confusion, and all of that.
Yes.
But being able, I know we don't see this a lot of women just sitting down and talking out, hashing out an issue or hashing out a struggle or whatever it is that's on our mind. It's okay to talk.
It is.
Like, I promise it's okay. I am more of a talker, and I would rather you just come and be like, I really just didn't like what you did. Can we talk about it?
Yeah.
Sure. Let me get in the right headspace. Let me make sure I'm able to receive what you're saying, because that's
Exactly.
the thing.
That's
Some
me.
people, you can't just come
Not right now.
You can't just come.
Give me a minute.
Hold on.
Give me a minute.
I'm
I
gonna
love
put you
you.
on my schedule.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make an appointment because I need
Give
to
me a
make sure
minute.
that whatever it is
Yeah.
we finna talk about, that it
I'm
is
coming
coming
from love.
Yeah, it needs to
Right.
come from love and not from anger, because like you said, we instantly will pop off,
Right.
and then we have to retract our statements.
Yeah.
And come back
Anita,
with
you're
something
right. That's
different.
what I was going to get on. Anita said, I feel that if you're offended by someone, please let them know. I have realized over the years when I say something, it might be the other person taking it in a different way.
Yeah,
what I was going to
exactly.
say is, I feel that if you approach it, because I don't do all that letting stuff build up.
Yeah.
Because I can't handle that kind of stuff. So if you do something to me, like do something to me, and I really feel like that isn't right. Because like when people just, I learn that people talking about me, I don't care. Like I can't do nothing about that. That's just life in general. But if you know, somebody close to me or whatever, if I get word or if you do something to me specifically, I always feel like it's my job to say this is offended. Now they might say I don't care or that whatever the conversation, the takeaway is the takeaway. But I always feel like it's my job to say I realize that you did this or you said that. I don't really
teach people how to treat you.
And if you don't snip it in the bud, no matter what it is, like I have people who like, because I grew up in a predominantly white town. And they'll be like, can I say the N-word? And I'm around me, and I'm like, no. And so they don't say the N-word around me. I can't control what they doing in their spare time. But like, if you nip it in the bud, it doesn't build up and become some big crazy thing. So that's why I try to always, if I'm really feeling away, you know, if I'm not feeling away, then.
And I think that goes back to that thing about being conditioned to be a victim. And we don't know how to talk because again we haven't learned how to have people treat us the way we want to
stand up for ourselves,
and that it's okay to stand up for yourself, because we get so many stigmas that she's a B, she ain't this, you know, she thinks she all that because she says exactly what she wants to say. So y'all, we gotta go.
Cut off is 11:40.
11:40. Yeah. Okay, we good at 11.
Like absolutely done at 11:40 to get her there by 12.
Okay. So we gonna start wrapping it up, but You have to.
Hey, girl.
We have got to say that it's okay for us to speak up and to say that we have an issue. And one thing that you can do, if you don't feel like you can talk to that person directly, find somebody that you can talk to and let them be your mediator. But it has to be someone you trust and that's not messy. You need it to be someone to give you a sound mind, and that even they don't necessarily have to bridge the gap for you, but that's a person that you trust. Keisha's my person. So if I'm going through something, I call her and I say, hey, I'm feeling like this. She'll give me her word. She gonna pray for me, whatever, and then we lead the conversation. Well, how do you want it to be when you go? Are you ready to talk to them now? Maybe not just yet. Wait for it. But that's somebody that you can go to help you to communicate more effectively. You can cuss and whatever you need to do, get it out with this person so that it can make sense when you go to the next person. You find your safe haven.
And I think an important thing is when we enter into relationships of different kinds, we cannot judge all relationships by the same standard.
Yes, everyone is different.
Because persons are different. So we have to understand that. We also have to understand that we expect perfection of people sometimes, even without really realizing that we expect perfection of people. So when people make mistakes and they hurt us in a manner, it cuts deep.
Because I expect you to know that you hurt my feelings.
That's which we don't.
That's what I'm saying.
Like 3 letters of assume.
Now,
right?
One of you.
And so it's like one of the things I was judging a case once, and it was a young teenage boy, and all of us were older excepting one not a teenager, but maybe a 19 or 20-year-old or something like that, was sitting there and giving an input. And we were talking as older, mature adults, judging the thoughts and the opinions of a child. And I'm like, you cannot do that. You cannot say that the child should have known X, Y, and Z because they're not in that state yet.
How would they have
we
known?
weren't in that state. So we judge people based on what we see things and our characteristics and how we think they should have reacted. So we have to be careful when we are dealing with people to understand that we're sinners, they're sinners, we're imperfect, they're imperfect. They may truly not know, based on their culture, how their family relates. It may be okay and normal for them. So we have to, my action or my reaction to you, as much as possible, even though it hurts, should be, Christ was like, Father, forgive them for they know not what they do. And so we have to develop that attitude first and foremost. Lord, forgive them and help me to forgive them. Because we got to forgive the hurt. And it's when we start to forgive that hurt that we can come and talk to them with a right mind. Because other than that, I'm talking to you out of frustration. I'm talking to you out of anger. I'm talking to you out of disgust. Because you see the look in my eyes. You see, because I don't even really want to hear anything you got to say. All I know is you hurt me. And how are you going to fix it? And if you can't fix it, we're done. So we have to be open to that kind of reconciliation as well. And it does not mean that depending on what the offense is, that I still got to hang around with you when it's all done. It doesn't mean that.
That is key.
We can be forgiven. We can still have a cordial relationship, but that doesn't mean that I'm going to invite you to my child's bar mitzvah.
Come through. It doesn't.
Hold on.
It doesn't
might
mean
not
still
get
be
there.
cordial.
our
might not get
relationship
there
has
again.
changed now.
The
The
dynamics
dynamics
have
have changed, and that's okay.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we have to hate each other,
Yeah.
or we
Or love
can't
each other.
speak each,
Yeah.
whatever,
Yeah.
or even love each
Or-
other, or
Or
not
be
even
in
love
the
each
same
other, but
space with each other.
yeah, like we
Right.
don't have to.
True.
We don't have to go back to being like this anymore or try to
Yes.
force it.
Yeah.
If it happens, it happens.
Right.
But that's something that people have to understand. Just getting an understanding after a situation has occurred is
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to get that
Forgiveness is not
understanding.
And I
necessarily
use
reconciliation.
I use the relationship with Peter and Jesus.
Hey,
Jesus
Diamond.
knew that Peter was going to betray him. And because Jesus knew Peter, it didn't offend him.
Yeah.
So that's why it's important to know people as well too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he still loved him. He still embraced him. Like, because there can be
If you knew the person, you would have known that they didn't mean anything by it.
Now that's the thing because
So
people
you
bring
know
their
the person.
representatives.
Yeah.
Hold on,
Yeah.
No intent.
You see what I'm saying?
People bring their representatives and don't bring their true selves sometimes. So,
that's people with jobs.
so
I've interviewed with jobs before, and they give you, just like you sell yourself to them, they sell you what the job is. And
Yeah.
when you get in there and get the training, you be like, wait a minute, I got to meet this quota. I'm not a salesperson.
Yeah.
You didn't say that, so you already left this job to go to another job. So that's why it's important to do your research.
Yeah, you
Even
got to
like-
get to know people.
Even like
Yep.
for you
That's
all
it.
that may be
Yep.
on here that is
Get to
looking
know.
for a mentor or something like that, or someone to coach them like you ladies do, or even like to pray for.
Yeah.
You want to be careful who you choose. There's nothing wrong with, doing your research and building a relationship with that person before you give them their all.
yeah.
Sometimes we allow, because just because me and Michelle have a good relationship, that don't mean I'm gonna have this same type of relationship with
Yeah.
you. It's gonna be different. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be on
And
different
sometimes
levels.
we box like, well, since Michelle is super cool with her, we should probably be super cool. But I get along with Michelle.
Right. Yeah.
And sometimes it just don't work like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. And it's
every
okay.
relationship is different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
It's
okay
okay.
for that.
Yeah.
One thing I was listening to you just now, what you were saying. Shoot, it was just on my fingertips.
Casey said.
Oh, when you
Okay, go ahead.
when you meet somebody and it's an investment, you said investment. So when people, brokers and things like that, when they do investments, they don't just fly off the rip and just invest all of their money in something just like that. They research it. They go through and they see what all is going to be the plus or the minus, what's
Yeah.
going to affect them negatively, and how much of a risk
Yeah.
it is.
Do y'all be researching the people you get into
So-
a relationship with?
Yes. It's time to do some research. It's time to do some risk analysis.
Girl, give it to
It's
me.
time for some risk analysis as we start to grow and develop.
Risking or analyzing nobody.
I know. At all.
Just
But you know what? I thought I was.
Reckless.
I thought that I was risking and doing a risk analysis of people because I have certain people that I cling to you. I don't do that. I ain't gonna touch you too much. Okay, I might grab towards you, but I have those different moments and those times. But now I'm like, okay, I really need to. This is life. Like things can really affect your life.
Right.
People
Yeah.
can really tear some stuff down
Yes.
in your life,
Yes.
and you are the one who is responsible for
Yes.
allowing it to come in.
And people
So-
do not understand the power that is in the tongue.
Oh.
Like, they do not understand
At all.
the power that words hold. Because once you say that thing, you can't take that back.
You
At all.
have given
Forever
complete
live.
life to it.
Yep.
You have given
Forever
complete
live.
life to it. So you got to be careful how you talk to your children. I have this one
Yes.
lady that she said when she want to cuss her kids, she would say, "You doctor, you, you lawyer, you."
I like that.
That's
I
how
like
she
that.
curse her kid because you got to understand
Oh, I
that
like that.
when you
gotta
call
use
your
it.
kids names like you're stupid, you're worthless, you're never going to amount to anything, or you let other people put that stuff over you,
Yes.
you better say, "I reject it in the name of Jesus,"
That's
because
right.
you're allowing them to preach your future.
Wow.
I don't remember. I don't
Right.
remember.
I got a dollar.
Um,
Let me go.
there's
Girl,
a-
throw that dollar at her.
There's and it's a clean dollar. Look, $2.
I ain't got no fun.
There's a scripture, and I'm gonna send it over to you guys. I don't remember which part of the I was reading through the Bible, and I read it, and I wrote down, and it said, if a young woman is in her father's house and she makes a vow,
Yeah.
and the father hear her make that particular vow and says nothing, then she is tied to it. She is bound to that vow, and he can do nothing any longer. If the woman is in her husband's house and she makes a vow and the husband hears it, and says nothing, she is bound to it. But if they hear it and they rebuke it, reject it, she is not bound to it.
Come on.
So we got to understand that when we hear our children talk bad about themselves, our spouse talk bad about themselves, our girlfriends talk bad about themselves, we have the power to say, no, I don't claim that for you. The same way we can say, I don't claim the stuff for myself. So we got to be very careful. The tongue is what we're saying. Change your words. Change your words.
Let me piggyback on this because I know there's a lot of single women watching, and that's on the table. It's speaking life. If you have a husband, fiance, or future husband in your life,
He on the way, Jesus.
Yes, he is.
Hallelujah.
you have to right. So
You
often
see me.
when they don't do right, we want to talk to them and chastise them. We got to speak to the king in them.
Yeah.
Because men go through stuff just like we do. They have their insecurities. And when they got, what's the scripture? I'd rather hang out a window than to be in the house of a nagging woman or something.
Yes,
You got to speak to the king. Even if he's making you mad, you got to be like, you know what, boo? I know you can do better than that.
Yeah.
You see this house, we a team. They'll be like, you ain't in here cleaning, you ain't washing no dishes. I gotta do this all by myself. That's like talking to a child. You don't want to do that. So to have a successful relationship, you have to talk to the adults in them.
The man. You
But
have to
I
have
mean,
respect.
we can even take that
At
a step
all
further. You
times.
got to talk to the queen
Exactly.
and the king. You got to
Yeah.
do
That's
both.
twofold. That's why I said the
Yeah.
because we got to
Yeah.
I wish I had $1.
So we need to have a round table on that one right there. Right, yeah, because I think a lot of people have this misconception that if you lift up your spouse, that you're weak
That's
and
good.
that you're being trampled upon. They don't understand it because society and the culture of the day is telling them that I'm an independent woman. I can do
speak
better all
on
by
it.
myself. I don't need no man. And if I got the man, this man can't control me.
Yeah.
Who you think you are? He the head of your house.
That's who he is.
That's who he is.
He the head of your soul. Let's be real.
You understand? And he is the one that if he was not there, you'd be crying at night.
I want to know
We cannot devalue them and expect that they're going to have value in themselves. We cannot allow society to devalue them. And we don't want anybody to devalue our children, our male children, just because we're devaluing somebody else's male child. We can't have it both ways. We can't do it. The Bible said you can't praise with your mouth and turn around and curse with it.
Come on.
It should not be so. It says it should not be so. So what are you doing? Are you praising and uplifting, or are you cursing and killing?
Come on.
Because that's the two choices that you
Life or death.
Here we go. All right, you guys. So thank you guys so much for watching. Tuning in to the podcast. It will be starting up in July. And of course, I'm going to have these ladies on the podcast. It'll be in your ears so you can watch it and listen to it at any time. I have everybody on because we're going to thump. We all thumping up in here. But it's going to be
the original Bible shirt that say thump 1, thump 2, and thump 3.
It's amazing.
Baby thumper.
She the original.
And little thump.
OG thump.
I'm the original.
That's
I'm
OG
the
baby
original
thump.
Bible.
OG
She's
baby thump.
thumping training.
No, she
was
an OG.
original.
You know,
They don't know that. They don't know that. Anyways, y'all, we love y'all, and we will. Oh, don't forget, if you guys have not already bought your tickets to the retreat, they are still available. Make sure you do that. Follow the
We
planning.
will be there.
All of us will be
will.
there. Everybody will be there.
She ain't got no near ticket.
You ain't got
That's all right.
It's okay. We're going to work some
We need to figure that
We're
out.
gonna figure this out as soon as we
I
close
am
off here.
offended. You have offended.
Yeah, you have
me. Did I
offended.
get a ticket?
So y'all make sure y'all get your tickets. Check out planningbetterme.com for your tickets. Make sure you follow the Planning a Better Me Instagram. Follow all of us. I'll have all of our information posted below. Thank you guys for joining us on this Sunday Chit Chat. I'm here for it. KK bye.
KK bye.